You already know that I love Corre and Círculos. It's one of my all-time favorite activities. I like to do it every chapter. I already have a whole playlist of videos explaining what it is and how I use it in the lesson plan, and a video on variations so that your students don't get sick of it because, you know, you love it as much as you do. But today I wanted to share with you 3 more ways you could play this game in your classroom because somebody messaged me and said, hey, here's some ways that I've used this and I loved them all. And so I wanted to share them with you. So we're gonna dig right into 3 more variations you can do with Corre and Círculos. Let's get started. If you're new here, my name is Ashley, aka Señorita Spanish. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, click subscribe, and ring that bell. And if you're already subscribed, thanks! I really appreciate your support. Before we dig right into these variations, I want to make sure you know that if you have no idea what Corre and Círculos is or how to play it with your students, I have a video on how to introduce it to your students. I'll link right here for you to watch. And I also have another video on 5 variations you can do with it in your classroom that I will link here for you. But if you already know what this game is, you already know your students love it, and you're just looking for another way to get more use out of the cards in your classroom, let's get started. So the first option that Carrie shared with me is like a relay race, which I love. The first things first, you need to decide how many groups of students you want. If you have a class of 25 and you want 5 kids in a group, then you're gonna need to have 5 different sets printed in 5 different colors. Then you're gonna print the sets miniature. So then the students are gonna start in their starting location. It could be one end of your classroom, it could be one end of your hallway, it could be part of the cafeteria and the other part of the cafeteria. Divide and conquer. So groups on one end, cards on the other. Then students are going to draw 1 card to be their starting card. Once the group has the starting card, they're going to take turns running, you know, walking quickly, whatever, it depends on your space, to the location where the cards are stored to find the right card and bring it back to their group, and then the next person will go relay style. And of course you can set this up like a race, so group green is competing against group blue, or, you know, however you want to do it. Variation 2 also has the cards printed mini. I'll link to the tutorial for how to print the cards smaller in the description of this video in case you don't know how to do that. But you're going to print the cards mini and then you're going to use them as the circle puzzle style, which I've shared in my variations on Corre and Círculos video before. Have enough copies of the mini puzzle for each of your students. Then set a 5-minute timer on your clock. Say go. Every student who finishes in the 5-minute timer gets, you name it, whatever your prize is, a jelly bean, a Starburst, a round of applause, whatever it is. Then you're gonna reduce the time. Okay, now you 4 minutes. Every student who finishes in 4 minutes gets, you know, whatever the treat is. Then 3 minutes, then 2 minutes, then 1 minute. They're racing and they're racing, they're racing to complete the puzzle as fast as they can. Of course, between every single round, you're gonna flip all the pieces over and scramble them back up to kind of reset the puzzle and make sure the students are all starting at the same space. But just kind of a fun way to take that mini version and ramp it up a notch into a more competitive style, especially as you're racing the clock and it gets shorter and shorter. The next variation Carrie shared kind of reminds me of one of the Quizlet live variations that I have enjoyed playing in the past. So you're gonna put your students in pairs, and one student is going to stand like kind of behind or over the shoulder of the other student. That student who is standing has their hands, you know, behind their back or just out of the way. They are not allowed to touch the puzzle pieces. The second student is seated, but they can only move to put the puzzle pieces together once the standing student gives them the directions to do so. So seated student is the hands for the standing student. Standing student is the brain or the director saying, you know, put that piece there. Again, I just wanted to thank Carrie for taking the time to share those variations with me so I could share them with you. I think that they're awesome and that your students will enjoy them just like she said her students enjoyed them. And I just wanted to take the time to share those with you. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure if you haven't yet, you like this video, you click subscribe, and you ring that bell so you get notified of all new content I create for you in the future. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.